I'm Julie Saunders.
I'm Jan Wilson. Julie and I both have experience as school librarians, and we've worked together as district library leaders.
In each episode, we'll dive into our profession with interviews and meaningful content to inspire you. We're not experts,
but we're pretty close.
The ideas and opinions shared by any host, guest, or listener are their own and do not represent those of any respective school district.
Welcome to Library Exchange. This episode is sponsored by Beanstack. Hey, book lovers! Looking for a fun, easy way to track your reading and earn cool rewards? Meet Beanstack, the ultimate reading app used by a community of over 15,000 schools, libraries, and organizations nationwide.
If you're an avid reader, check your local library to see if they offer Beanstack for free. A parent? Ask your child's teacher if the school library uses Beanstack.
And if you're an educator looking for a fresh alternative to Accelerated Reader, Beanstack is the perfect tool to cultivate a thriving reading culture.
Ready to turn the page? Visit www.beanstack.com to learn more.
So, quick question, Julie. Did you have a favorite book series when you were growing up?
I loved Sweet Valley High. I think I read over 100 of them. Once I caught up with the series, I would save up my $2.75 each month and happily go to the bookstore and buy a new copy. And those super editions like Malibu Summer, they were the best. I just really wanted to be just like the Wakefield twins.
So mine was Encyclopedia Brown. I don't know if you remember those, but I love trying to solve those mysteries. We had a substitute teacher at my elementary school. I can see her. I can't remember her name, but we loved it when we knew we were going into the room because she would read 2-minute mysteries. So we were like doing critical thinking and problem solving things, and we didn't even realize it.
Aw, that's good fun.
And when I looked it up this morning, I didn't realize it's the same author of Encyclopedia Brown. So no wonder I liked it.
So let's get to our guest. Today, we are joined by Jennifer Saunders, the Director of Library Media Services from a large district in Metro Atlanta.
She's been an educator for 25 years and won the 2024 Literacy Advocacy Award from Page Turners Make Great Learners, which is a nonprofit in Atlanta.
Jennifer is also president of the Georgia Federation of Public Service Employees, which advocates for public employees and positive community engagement. Welcome to Library Exchange, Jennifer.
Well, hello, Jennifer, Julie, and Jan. I love all of these J's together.
Yeah.
I have to say, triple J's, yes.
Yes.
But I have to say, Julie, Sweet Valley series was everything to me.
Aww.
So we have that in common. I think I've read every single one from the Sweet Valley High to Sweet Valley Twins. And you know, when I think back on those books, the situations those high schoolers got into was a bit ridiculous.
They were. But boy, it was entertaining. Oh, I loved them too.
I reread them, and my friends and I exchanged the books. And I think I was reading the Sweet Valley High when I was in like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Y'all are ahead of your time. So, Jennifer, we're so pleased to have you with us today. And before we get started with our conversation, will you speak to the number of schools, enrollment, and demographics for your district?
Absolutely. So I have been with Atlanta Public Schools for a total of 20 years. I spent my first few years in another district in Metro Atlanta before transitioning to Atlanta Public Schools. We have 72 schools. So that is a mix of traditional and charter partner schools as well. We have approximately 48,000 students. Which is a large urban district, certainly not as large as some other districts. We serve a lot of families. Who we serve are the same people that the city of Atlanta serves. And so we have a lot of cross-curricular or cross-contamination, I guess, of activities between city of Atlanta and Atlanta Public Schools because we have the same constituents. Our demographics, we have 86% non-white students. So we have a high minority population in our district, and it's a great place to work. I really enjoy it. It has been challenging and rewarding, and I am very happy to be in Atlanta Public Schools.
Great. Our focus today is community partnerships. And as we all know, literacy is not just a school issue, it's a community issue. We know that schools play a pivotal role in teaching literacy skills, but the responsibility of fostering a literate community extends beyond the school building. So, Julie and I have heard of a program called Race to Read, and that's race with a number 2, read. Can you share details about this reading campaign?
Absolutely. So first, Race to Read. RACE is an acronym. Read across the city every day. So we are on a race to read because it's been about 6 years ago. We had a community member go up to one of our Atlanta Public Schools board members and say, what are we doing about literacy in our city? Our children just aren't reading, and it's evident in our test scores. And so that board member brought it to our then superintendent, Dr. Maria Castarfin, and she, brought it to her academic team, and we brainstormed. And one of our colleagues said, well, there is a software program that was used in Baltimore public library system called Beanstack, and it's essentially a digital reading log. And we knew we needed something that would encourage students to read and make them aware of their reading habits without being punitive, right? So without any kind of, you read this, now you have to take a test, because that's what we have been focused on for as long as I can remember, since I've been an educator. I remember reading when I was younger, and it was kind of like no pressure. But lately, I think it started with the Race to the Top kind of initiatives where reading was tied to taking an assessment. And so while that works for some children, right, like my own children participated in programs that offered quizzes, and then you had incentives based on how you performed on those quizzes, this was something that you just read for the joy of reading, right? No tests involved. And along the way, you may receive some incentives, but that's not the forefront of it, right? That's not promoted first. It is set a personalized goal for yourself through the Beanstack platform. We would help inspire a joy of reading. And so it got started with that one community member that posed it to our board member, and Race to Read was born through a meeting in our central office and brainstorming ideas. What are we going to call it? How are we going to get this hook on it? And it has taken off since then.
I love that it started with a community member and the fact that the school system was responsive to the community member. I mean, it's hard to respond to all the people that come and have these ideas, but what a great thing to bring everybody together and to campaign for this. You've done this for several years, so how do you keep the momentum going? What keeps people interested in participating?
So a big part of it is continuing to get the word out, because you would be surprised. We are in year 6 and there are still people who are like, what? Race to read? What is this? And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, and part of it is, of course, we have new employees that come into the district. We have new community members that move into the city. We have new students every year. And so challenging them and presenting this to them is something that we have to do every year to act like it's brand new. So we have to rebrand it, and we have to offer a variety of exciting promotions surrounding it. So promoting it with recognizable community members is helpful. For example, we have had the mascots from our professional teams, from
Uh,
our basketball, baseball, and football team, do a whole pass the book video. And it was really cool when that was promoting. We partner with our local transportation system, MARTA, and they have put signage on the side of the MARTA bus. And certainly there are organizations that come to our district and they say, okay, well, we want to support literacy. How can we do that? And our Office of Partnerships, led by Joy Hunter, has done a fabulous job of funneling those our way. So our latest partner is Bijan Robinson, running back with the Atlanta Falcons.
Woo, go Falcons.
Yes, I think they've got a promising future now with
Yeah.
Robinson and
yes,
Penix. I'm
yes.
excited. But he has done a really good job this year of starting to join with us in promoting our reading efforts through Race to Read. And so what I like with Race to Read is with Beanstack, what they offer is an opportunity to create challenges. And so we will create like a bingo board or set a monthly goal for students to read and log minutes. So now you may be wondering, well, kids can just put in any amount of minutes and they can, flub their way through completing the challenge. So that is our opportunity to talk to students about digital citizenship. So I love the dual aspect of Beanstack and how it offers teaching about honesty whenever you put something online, because it is there, it speaks to your character and what kind of person are you portraying yourself to be online. And then for some of our littles, they don't necessarily have a concept of time, so they'll say, "No, I read 300 minutes. It felt like 300 minutes." Time out. Let's talk about that a little bit more. And so Beanstack offers you can start recording. You can say, "Start my timer now," right on the app or on the website. And as they're reading, it'll calculate those minutes. So anyway, we start with creating the challenge that our partners say, "Well, we want it to be from this amount of time to this amount of time," and we are able to do it a couple of ways. So how many minutes have you logged? If you log this amount of minutes, then you will be incentivized for that. Or if you complete these challenges on this bingo board, and so that may look like read first thing when you wake up in the morning. So like over our December break, read in your pajamas, read at the kitchen table, or read with another person in your home, or read to your stuffed animal, or read during every commercial break when you're watching something on TV. Just challenges that they can handle on their own, sometimes without adult supervision, because some of our students are independent learners. And so we have to recognize that. And we also have to recognize that some of our students do not have the digital resources to do things electronically. And so we are able to print out some bingo boards and distribute that to our students as well, so that everybody can be involved and we're not leaving anyone out through these challenges. And then and one thing I like about Beanstack is it is the data reporting. So it lets us know how many students are participating. And so in a lot of cases, our schools are various sizes. So naturally, our schools with 700 students are going to have more minutes logged than schools with 200 students. And so we're able to look at participation. How many students are you reaching? How many students are actively engaging in independent free choice reading? And so we do base a lot of it on participation as well as individual completion of challenges.
So I just want to make a comment before Jan, I know she's chomping at the bit to ask a question, but I really am so impressed because your school system is a large school system and you mentioned other departments. So it sounds like this has really helped you guys work together in certain ways and have a common goal. I know in large organizations it's difficult because sometimes people are working in silos. And this sounds like a wonderful opportunity to have cross departmental planning. And I believe that, with the business partners and I mean, I go through the Atlanta airport. I believe I've seen this advertised even there. Having government leaders and other people support this program, I would imagine that really helped with the marketing campaign.
You have no idea. So a couple of our big partners, Everybody Wins Atlanta and Page Turners Make Great Learners, have been instrumental in connecting us throughout the community. So Page Turners Make Great Learners, led by Fifi Handy, was instrumental in getting us in the airport. So as you are getting off the plane train, when you're coming back to Atlanta and you're going up the escalator, there was a digital
I've seen it.
sign, and our Race to Read campaign was on there for a year, and that was fantastic. And so we were able to get additional partnerships as a result of that. And once people see, like, oh, this is happening, and I see this person supporting, then other people want to support. So when we had the Hawks jump on board, we were able to take a group of students who completed a challenge to meet Chris Paul when he came to play against the Hawks, because we had a virtual authors visit with him and they completed a challenge, and he met with the kids after the game. I mean, it was kind of late because it was a school night, but when I tell you, they were so excited, as were the adults. But so partnerships is critical in helping us get the message out. So
I have to
yes.
say one more thing. Sorry, Jan. I'm jumping in front of you again.
Julie, do
I
you know that I'm a co-host?
I do, but I just am so impressed with the marketing that was in the airport. And you have to imagine that not only are you making a difference in your own community, but globally. I mean, when I saw that on the screen, and I'm, also a library leader that's nearby, it really sparked ideas for me. I'm like, I want to do that. So imagine all the educators of the millions of people that come through the airport that see those campaigns and they've taken those ideas back to their communities. It could be global. I mean, these are things that you have influenced and your community has influenced other communities. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
And we don't always recognize the impact that we're making until I get calls from people around the country. I had calls from people in Florida and in DC and out in the Midwest, and they're like, "Yeah, we saw your campaign. Can you tell us a little bit about it?" I was
It's
like, "Oh
amazing.
my, okay."
Yeah,
I
I
love
mean,
it.
how refreshing to see an ad to promote reading in an
Yes.
airport or on the MARTA buses, like you said. You mentioned the Chris Paul meeting with your students, and I know the goal is for kids and communities to read when they don't have to. Are there other prizes or incentives for the students?
Absolutely. So they were able to meet with Chris Paul. We had Bijan Robinson, who had a challenge in December, and then he invited the students from the school that had the highest participation to go view the new Sonic movie, and they got a prize pack. And then all of the students who participated in that challenge got a swag bag of prizes from the Bijan Reads Foundation. We also have partnerships with Everybody Wins Atlanta. We've had students complete a challenge and they get to do a virtual cooking class with
Aw.
an author. And so what we were able to do, they provided us with the funds to buy all the ingredients that the
Oh,
students needed.
fun.
And we would take it to their house. And on a Saturday morning, they would take their Chromebooks home and they were able to log in and cook alongside with
I
a
love
chef.
that.
Yes, and it was Chef Tregay who won the Food Network star, one of the
Oh,
first episodes of the Next Food Network star, and so that has been exciting. And then internally, we incentivize each month. We recognize our top readers from each grade level, and we do a prize patrol. And so we will show up at their school and give them a prize pack. And you know what kids like to receive the most as their prizes? More books. You
yes.
would think that they would want
So
snacks and they
true.
want a gift card. They get excited. So we would show up with a wagon full of books and they would get to pick 2 and 3 books to take home. And that was the most exciting. We would give them like a $10 Amazon gift card. They'll say, "Oh, okay, thank you. But where are the books?" And that is so
Yeah.
refreshing. So don't tell me the kids don't like to read. They love to own those books and take them home with them.
They like to choose those books
That's the
too.
key.
You
That's
know,
the
you're
key.
letting them
That's it.
choose what they want to read.
Hmm.
So, my last question about this is so, this is a year round reading campaign. When we go back to thinking about when we went to school to be librarians, we didn't realize, okay, we need some marketing classes as well because you have to do a lot. So, are you promoting within the schools? Is the public library involved?
So we are promoting within our schools. So each of our schools has a certified school library media specialist right now, and they are the ones that a lot of them will have their own incentives, or they may have a thermometer because each school has a specific goal for the year, or they may have a board showing how many minutes we've read or how many minutes to go. It's a reminder of this for the students to read and log their minutes. Um, we have a school that has met their goal for this school year already, and it's our best academy. It is an all male 612 school. And so they will be rewarded with our partnership through Page Turners, Make Great Learners, and MARTA. They're going to get on a story bus during Read Across America Week, and
Oh,
they are going to be going through the city. This is the 4th year that we've had the story bus, but they were selected because they have met their school wide goal because their media specialist has promoted it with them. She has created author studies with the students, displayed books, reminded them constantly. She works with their ELA teachers to read novels together, and then they read and log those minutes, and certainly their independent free choice reading minutes. So they're going to hop on the story bus on Friday, and they're going to go to one of the MARTA stations, and there'll be a free pop-up bookstore for them to help build home libraries. And so the goal is always to build home libraries, right? And to inspire a joy of reading. And if you have nothing at home to read, then how are you going to continue that habit outside of school? And with the public library, we are able to have a tandem account for our students in Beanstack, which is the platform that we use for Race to Read. And so whenever students are logging in Race to Read, it logs with the Fulton County Public Library system. And during the summer, they have an incentive program. So we promote what they do in the summertime as well.
that's fantastic. I just really just want to make a comment about how important having a presence at the district level, somebody in your position, to be able to help with continuity and impact of these programs. I hope that somebody can take charge in a smaller district that wants to do some of these things that your school system's doing, because it's just fantastic and very impactful. So my next question, I know that you have another program that has helped build community partnerships, and that's your partnership through the public library. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, so that was a program that started about 6 years ago. So ClassPass is what it's called. It's Connecting Libraries and Students for Success, another acronym that our former director, Patrice Laird Walker, came up with. She coined ClassPass and Race to Read. And so when she did that, it was she was a marketing genius, right? So she was a initially a communications major in college, and then she switched to education, but her communication passion was coming through as she coined all of these acronyms. But ClassPass is what we worked with Fulton County Public Library system so that every student and staff member has an automatic library card. What we would normally do is September is National Library Card Sign Up Month. We don't have to do that anymore because all of our students has a library card that gives them access to the e-resources from the public library. They can go physically to the public library, and they would just use their student number with Atlanta Public Schools. So it's seamless. They don't have to remember an additional number. So what they use at school to log in every day for their on their computer or for their to give their lunch number, they also use at the public library. And so
Wow.
they are able to access all of the materials electronically and the physical print and the computer access and even the passes to the zoo and passes to the national parks. All that's available at the public library is available to them. And so what that does is it eliminates barriers, especially because it has eliminated overdue fees and lost fees for our families because kids are going to lose books, kids are going to damage books, kids sometimes have to move from place to place and things get left behind, and we don't want to penalize our students and giving them the opportunity to learn more information and prepare themselves for college, career, and life by saying, no, you lost that book, you can never check out again. And so there is a form online. So if they visit the library, they can go to the site and they can click the lost form button. And then there are a couple of procedures like, what did you lose? What did you lose it? Did you read it? Give me a summary of it. So it doesn't penalize our students for that. And that has been a safeguard also for adults because some adults view the public library as a form of government. And we know some of our families stay away from that. And we want them to know that the library is a place for them. It's a place where you are not expected to spend any money, but you can come and get what you need to grow your lives and grow your knowledge.
You talked about removing barriers from the fines, et cetera. And when we think about, we don't want our children to have a consequence for something in their life that they had no fault in. Parents move, accidents happen too. Again, that partnership shows value in your community. And when you go to the public library as well, you have such a variety and choice. Go to your public library, everybody.
Absolutely. And another thing with the public library is they have had authors visits. And so they have exclusively said, okay, Atlanta Public School students, you can come here. They've allowed us to bring busloads of students. Like, for example, they've had Nick Stone. And so that we were able to bring a group of students and they provided books for the students to take home. So it's been very beneficial, a really good partnership. So I would encourage any school district to partner with their local library because there are some great opportunities there to continue to promote independent free choice reading.
Well, this was so great, Jennifer. Thank you so much for sharing all this valuable information. It's just such great advice for school librarians who want to promote literacy and do some of these same things that your school system has done beautifully. We're just so appreciative of your time that you've spent with us today.
Yeah, it's so crucial for students to see the adults in their lives reading. They need to have books in their home. And all of these were just positive examples of the value of lifelong learning and literacy. So with Race to Read and ClassPass, you showed us two programs that can kind of do the talking for you. So we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for the invitation. And you touched on something real fast about adults reading too. And we have adult challenges as well in Race to Read for our community members that participate. And it has been wonderful. We were able to give Chipotle coupons, to the
Oh.
adults, and they love that part of it. So it's just building a city that reads is what we're doing. And we're thankful to the city of Atlanta for supporting us, thankful to all of our partners for supporting us and helping promote this message. And thank you for letting me talk about Race to Read and ClassPass and the things that we do to help promote reading.
I really enjoyed this conversation with Jennifer Saunders. Librarians, their collections and spaces play such a crucial role in literacy. And you guys think about all the ways you keep students excited about reading and encourage them to read when they don't have to. Julie, we exchanged ideas during our conversation with Jennifer. It's time for our recap, so get us started.
Okay, so it was so great to hear about the Race to Read campaign, a wonderful example of shared goals among community and school leaders. Often the obstacle in education is competing initiatives. Atlanta has shown the power of shared goals and working together to create a community of readers.
It's been running for 6 years now. Julie, do you get it? Do you see what I did there?
Yes, I do.
I use the verb running to describe the Race to Read campaign.
I do see what you did there. One of the hardest things in education is keeping the momentum going with the end goal in mind. The reading campaign is emphasized through the school, library, and media specialists by pulling in community members representing sports teams and community leaders and rebranding the reading challenges. She has shown how with a little work and creativity, you can keep the momentum going.
Yeah. This is worth mentioning when we talk about sports teams and athletes. Just think about when Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown was reading a book on the sidelines this past season. That went viral.
Awesome.
I loved hearing students talk about him and asking about the book he was reading. We know it's very important for students to see adults reading.
Jennifer has also discussed the partnership with the Fulton County Public Library System through the ClassPass program, which is fantastic. It provides every student and staff member with an automatic library card. This gives them access to digital and physical library resources without an additional registration. The public library system also supports the Race to Read campaign by hosting author visits and providing books for students. And it makes perfect sense to partner since both organizations are serving the same families.
Besides resources and programming, the collaboration between schools and the public libraries is eliminating barriers like overdue fees and lost book penalties. This makes it easier for students to access what they need, and it shows them that they live in a supportive community. Oh, I just thought, since we're both kind of competitive, Julie, I'd like to participate in an adult reading challenge with you. Oh, wait. Our department did that last summer, and not that it matters, I just can't remember who won that challenge.
I wonder who. Let's just call it another win for librarians, Jan. As we discussed in the beginning, investing in literacy has positive impacts for the entire community. Go out and do your part. Make sure to visit our website at www.libraryexchangepodcast.com.
You'll find episode notes and links. You can even submit your questions or inspiring stories that may be featured on the podcast.
If you're looking for some swag for your library or book-loving friends, visit libraryexchange.etsy.com.
That's a lot of URLs, so I'm glad you had to say all of that, Julie.
Thanks for joining us. We can't wait to have you back for our next episode of Library Exchange.